All right, so I'm going to explain to you how to complete this random rectangles activity. So ultimately, what our goal is to estimate the average area, not the total area, but the average area of 100 rectangles. Okay, and that's you'll see it on the next page. There's several pages of it. Okay, so there's 100 rectangles. We want to estimate the average area, average size, without actually doing the average of all 100. Okay, so there are different ways that we are going to sample. So first of all, the first method is judgment samples. So we're going to select 5 rectangles that in our judgment, our best judgment, I'm going to try my very, very best to pick 5 representative rectangles and then get the area of those. So I would come over here, this page 4 is used for judgment, simple random, and the systematic sampling. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to, with my, eyeball, and I'm going to pick 5 rectangles that I think are representative of the population. Okay, and so then with that, I'm going to, let's see, I need one more other than that one here. So let's see what we got. So then I'm going to pick the 5th one. And so then I would come over here and I would calculate, I would put those areas down. So rectangle number 1 has an area of 1. Rectangle number 12 has an area of 1. Rectangle number 17 has an area of, I'm going to zoom in there and see what that one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So rectangle 17 has an area of 20 and so on. So what you see here is I would put, okay, rectangle number 1 had an area of 1. Rectangle number 12 had an area of 1. Rectangle number 17 had an area of 20 and so on. And then you would take these 5 areas and average them and get the average of those rectangles you chose. All right, now let's talk about the next one. Simple random sample. Number the rectangles from 1 to 100. Okay, so I did that for you because I thought you don't need to waste your time doing that. So you're going to come on over here. And then what it says is for you to use a random number table, but you can use a random number generator. You could use your computer or use an app and choose 5 rectangles at random. So just for an example, if you go to here, I just put into Google random number generator and then I changed this from 1 to 100, generate. So my first rectangle it gives me is 77. So then I'm going to come on over here and I'm going to write down that rectangle number 77. And then the next one I'm going to get, the area for is, let's see, 21. Do one more, 46. So rectangle number 21, rectangle number 46. Okay, so and then you're going to get all 5 of those. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to see, okay, rectangle 21, oh, that's just 1. Rectangle 46, okay, that looks like 12. And then 77 just has 3. Okay, so then you put those areas down there. So this one had 3 and 1 and 12. Anyway, and you would continue and you would take the average of those 5 areas. Okay, now let's talk about these next 2, cluster random sampling and stratified. Those are both grouping methods, but they have you group in 2 different ways. So we're going to take so what happens with cluster is you take the rectangles on page 4 and they have been reproduced onto page 5 and they have had lines drawn every 2 inches to form 5 regions. So here's what that looks like. Okay, so we've got this here where we're going to number those regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then I'm going to use my random number generator from numbers 1 to 5, and then I'm going to pick one of those regions. Okay. In this case, it says region number 1. So then that means I'm going to go, and this is the one that I'm going to be finding the area. So then so this is considered, each one of those sections are considered a cluster. Okay. The idea is they're supposed to each be little miniature populations. So the idea is each cluster is representative of the population. So then when I just pick a random cluster, and I'm going to get the area for all of this cluster. I'm going to add up all of the areas and divide by however many rectangles that is. I don't have them numbered for you because I don't know how many there are in there. All right, so then that's what we do for cluster. And so there's just, you just say which section you ended up choosing, and then you get the average of that entire section. Okay. Hey, cluster, you're a group. I will sample all of you. Hey, cluster. All right. Now, the other grouping method is stratified. So this says, suppose you shake it up and you put the smaller ones are on the top and the larger ones are on the bottom. And you have lines drawn into 5 sections. So you can see that here on this page, that is what happens. See, all the small rectangles are in this first section, and then a little bit larger ones in that section. And then here's this one, and then here's this one, and then here's this one, okay, with the largest rectangles in it. So then what the descriptions, so each one of these groups are called a strata, okay? Those have a particular trait. You have sorted this page according to their size because maybe you wanted to control the size. So then that was, so the small ones to the large ones. So what we want to do is say these are homogeneous groups. Okay, and that's very important that you know vocabulary wise that these are homogeneous groups. Okay, there goes the dogs. So these are homogeneous groups. And so then you randomly select one or however many, 2, 3, you could randomly select however many from each one of those strata. So then I would come over to my my generator. I see that first group has 20 in it. So I'm going to do the random number generator, number 8. See, so then I would do number 8. And then I would go to the next one, number 1 to 20. There's 20 of them. So I'm going to get another number 16. So I'm going to come over here. Number 16 is that one. All right. So you're going to go ahead and then get those 5 areas. Now, finally is systematic. This has a system to it. So let's take a look at that last process. So we're going to use the rectangles, I believe, on page 4 again. And what you're going to do is use a random number generator and pick a number. So you have to have a random starting point. That's where randomness comes into play. A random number between 1 and 20. So if I pick a random number between 1 and 20, number 7. Okay. Then it says add 20 to this number. So that's 27. Then you do it again. So it's every nth one, every 20th one. So 7, 27, 47, 67, 87. So those are the rectangles then that I would use on this page. 7, 27, wherever that is, and so on. 47, okay? And 67, and so on. And so then you would average those areas. So this is called systematic. It's got a system to it, every nth one. All right. So that is how you do your homework for this random rectangles page. And the idea is we want to ultimately get information from all your peers as to what these averages are. We'll see what those came about, and we'll consider which of these types of sampling methods estimated the true value, the true average. I know what it is, but I'm not telling you it yet. Which one did the best job of creating representative samples? Which sampling method was the best? All right, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow.